Well, hello, Bigfoot enthusiast. Scott here from Squatch America.
And Hannah, domestic goddess, sheep cooking doggy mama here in the paddy wagon tonight. It's hot.
Yes, it's hot.
We left Gordonville, Texas today.
We did, and
and it only got hotter as we drove.
Yep, we're headed southerliest. So, hi, how's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah.
Renee,
good to see you again, chica.
Yeah,
Been
and David,
a minute, and
Michelle.
Yep. So.
Okay, yeah, we're got an interesting and different show for you tonight.
Shall I sing the song?
Yeah.
How many of you? Okay, so I see 7 of you on. Who is actually signed up for our weekly emails? They kind of look like this now. Let us know if you get the weekly emails. I send them out to almost 800 people every week, and I just kind of want to know if the people who are watching us actually get the emails.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Renee says she got the email.
Thank you.
Awesome. Because I put in a funny. Hi, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul, I hope you and Robbie signed up for our email list. That's the important thing. Because I did a funny to kind of introduce the theme of tonight's song. So if you tonight's show, but I'm not gonna perform the funny if you already get it. So because that would be stupid and weird.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, well, why don't you tell them what our show's about tonight?
Oh, Renee said she's actually been reading them too. Thank you.
Oh, you've been reading them. Well, there's going to be more to read because I'm changing how I do them. I'm changing them up to be actually more story-like.
Yeah.
Because stories are powerful. And in this week's email, I sent it yesterday, David, so that's good. I introduced the story of, you've got weird stuff in your beard.
Okay, I always do.
Anyway. I introduced our story. Because we've had a lot of people, especially recently for whatever reason, ask us about us.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, and I apologize, my phone's going off and whatever.
So tonight's show is going to be about us, what has recently went down in our lives, and
even our story before that.
Yeah, and then we'll be talking about what's coming up.
So question. So who? The question is, how did we get to be who we are and do what we're doing?
Okay.
So what are you doing over there?
I don't know. I'm just looking at what we can.
Do I need to sing the dang song?
Nope. No, I'm all thrown off because I had accidentally set something up which was weird. And so when we went live, it automatically played our intro and not our
intro
countdown. And then we intro, and now I'm all off because I don't know what's going on.
Okay, do you want to play the glitchy countdown?
No, I don't. Better? No, that's okay. You guys don't need to see that.
So you know, when someone has ADD or is slightly on the spectrum, I'm not saying that you're slightly on the spectrum, but don't mess up his routine is what I'm saying. Bad idea. Bad idea. So anyway, hey Doc Ock, we're here and we are telling our story tonight. I kind of don't. Who has a question? People have been asking us, like they ask us all the time. Well, how did you guys meet?
Mm-hmm.
And how did you guys get into Bigfooting? And how are you doing this full time? And blah 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 blah. And so, what do you guys want to know? Let's start with what you want to know first.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight's kind of like an open mic. And if you have a question that you are just dying to know about us, Scott, Hannah, Squatch America, anything, put it in the comments.
Yep.
And we'll answer the question.
We will.
Because we don't want to bore you with our story until we've answered your questions. Send a link to sign up on the email.
Okay. We can do that. Or you, oh wait, we can do that right here.
Hmm.
Let's see. Type in our website.
Oh my gosh. All right. We should have this as a hot thing on
We
the.
should. I usually do. I don't know what happened to it. Oh, you don't need that. Just that. Okay. And
All
then
right.
we
Go
can go
down here. Click. Just click.
clicking.
Click. There
Clicking.
you go.
It's not going. Anywhere.
Yes, it is.
There it is.
Okay. And click there.
And then all we have to do
Yes.
is
Copy
that.
and paste. All right. Here's the link.
Here's the link.
Control V. It won't let me. Okay. Control V. There.
All right.
There is the link. If you, I love it. Dave said, "How did you meet and get into Bigfoot?" Like,
hi, Scott.
we're so glad you asked.
Yes, I am glad you asked. That's kind of a funny joke I do when I do my live shows.
What is Squatch America?
Yeah, so I always go on stage and hi, I'm Scott with Squatch America. So what is Squatch America, you ask? And then I'll pause and wait for somebody to ask. If they don't, I'll just say, what is Squatch America? You ask. And then somebody go, what is Squatch America? And I'll go, I'm glad you ask. So
anyway. Well, if you read the email and sang along,
yeah,
it's the story of a lovely lady who was living with 3 cats of her own.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Hannah was a homeless cat lady.
I was not homeless.
No, it's joking.
I had a housemate.
Yeah.
I was a frumpy piano teacher at age 27, and I had a lovely church and no dating life whatsoever. Because have you ever tried to date? It sucks.
Yeah.
Dating is sucky.
So
horrible life.
So long story short, we met at a church retreat, and which we were the only 2 single people at the church retreat. And then 2 months later, we got married.
No, it was 4 months.
4 months.
2 months later, we got engaged.
Yeah, and then 4 months. And then 2 months later, after that, we got married over lunch
at the county courthouse.
At the county courthouse. I took my lunch. We went and got married. I went back to work. So that was our whirlwind romance and stuff. And we've been together
27 and a half years.
27 and a half. Well, 27 in August. Yeah,
it was 27 in August. Yeah. So, but 27 and a half from the day we met.
Okay.
So Paul, you can, actually, well, anyway, just say and Paul, you can just go to our website, squatchamerica.com, scroll down a little bit, and it'll say shop, support, subscribe, whatever. Just start clicking the buttons that say subscribe, and you'll get there eventually.
Yeah, you will. So
was it a paranormal date? Actually,
kind of.
If you believe in a personal divinity that sets people up just to get his jollies, then probably, yeah.
Okay, so Raptor says it sounds like the church put us together. It did not, because we were both attending 2 different churches.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah. So yeah, we were like 4 hours apart. We'd never met.
Yeah.
And then I immediately started running up my phone bill after he wrote first. After he wrote first.
Uh-huh.
After he wrote first.
After she wrote first. It's funny. We both decided to write a little note to each other, and we did it on the same day without knowing, and the letters passed in the mail. So
it was quite hilarious. Anyway.
Oh, hi to T.
Hi to T Scott.
To T Scott. Oh.
Update them on Operation Pond Scum.
Okay, Operation Pond Scum. Scott Goebel in the chat, who was gracious enough to go rescue the cameras. Yay, they were rescued. Finally. They did not catch on fire.
They were not stolen.
They were not stolen. They didn't get picked up by a bucket out of the pond and dumped in a tree somewhere. They were
totally intact.
Totally intact. Scott collected them for me.
How many thousands of pictures?
There's thousands of pictures on them. According to Scott, he pulled the cards out of them, and they're been popped in the mail. They're on their way to me right now. I haven't got them yet, but I will get them this next week. And then we'll go through there. We'll have a whole big Friday episode for that. So Scott got them. They're safe. Scott got some other ones.
He got some good pictures.
He's got some good pictures on the ones that the other cameras that he had out that did not burn up either. So, so all safe. Got them.
Yeah. So Renee says that the church may not have put you together, but the universe did. The universe has some twisted ass sense of humor.
It does.
And Paul and his wife got married at a church revival on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome. Okay. Anyway, so that's how we met, and if you read the email, you will know that when we met, Scott was busy single parenting his teenage son.
Mm-hmm.
And so I, a 27-year-old frumpy piano teacher with 2 cats and no life whatsoever, I really didn't have a life, went from that life overnight to being a mom of a teenage boy. You know, they smell like scotch.
Yeah.
Anyway,
do. That's why Bigfoot smells, by the way, if you haven't heard that theory of mine. When you get the smelly Bigfoot, they're teenage boys that smell like that. So that's it.
Anyway, okay, so Bigfoot was such a part of our early marriage, yes?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, it wasn't actually. We both were kind of diving into work.
Surviving all the issues that come with particularly blending 2 families, even though my family was me and 2 cats.
Yeah.
But blending 2 families, dealing with a lot of difficult issues. And and the reason I say this is if Peggy is listening.
Yeah.
She says, I don't know how you guys have survived. You have been through so much, and it would have destroyed lesser people. There were a lot of horrible things that happened to us in our early marriage because of the nature of, I'm trying to be delicate, the nature of a second marriage and things left over from the first marriage, and children and child support and lawsuits and things like that. And, things that were launched against us specifically to try and destroy what we had.
Yeah.
So we have been through a lot.
Yeah.
We might be still slightly traumatized from some of those things.
Some of those things.
But here we are, almost 28 years later.
Yep.
And so, what are you doing?
Oh, I just looking to see.
We're only pawn in this game.
Yeah, that's it.
Mongo only pawn in game of life.
Yeah, that's how we feel.
That's how we feel.
Yes, Doc Ock. Sadly, those things happen.
They happen.
Yes, they do. But in the early days of our marriage, I tell you what, this guy here, he said, I'm in this for forever, for life, period. I'm not backing out of my commitment to you. And even times when I tried to get him to back out on his commitment to us, he wouldn't do it. Damn it.
Yeah.
He just kept sticking around and loving me through it. Yeah, lots of skeletons. We have a lot of skeletons in our closet, but some of them, you know what? If you just let them out of the closet, they crumble in the light and they go away. So, anyway.
So hi,
Lee. Good to see you. So this is this is a personal
he
show.
said, I'm glad I caught you live. This is kind of a weird live too.
Yeah, it is a weird live. But it's in response to people asking us about our life history and our stories. And and we were very, very religious in the early days of our marriage, and really did have I want to say we had a different kind of faith in God then. But honestly, that is what kept us together through thick and thin.
Mhm.
And then, people evolve and change and all that. And even though we don't define ourselves by religion or church anymore, um, we still take the vows we made 27 some years ago very, very, very
Yep,
seriously.
we do.
So
We're 15 minutes in, so we're going to play a quick commercial, and then we got to get into some
actual content.
actual content, some recent things that's been going on, and we just wanted to get you guys caught up on that and where we're at and blah blah blah. I guess that's not exciting.
Imagine having high-speed internet no matter where you are. With Starlink, that dream is now reality. No more buffering, lag, or limited access. Starlink connects you to ultra-fast, reliable internet anywhere on Earth. From seamless streaming to intense gaming and productivity, Starlink empowers you to do it all. And here's the best part. Sign up using our exclusive link and get your first month free. Don't miss out on the future of internet. Click the link in our description to get started today. Starlink, revolutionizing internet, one connection at a time. Join now. Does it actually move like that?
Yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
does.
All right, go Elon.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to sign up for Starlink, link in the description below, and you will get
Your first month free.
Your first month free.
And actually, it doesn't cost any more than like Nomad Internet.
It
does.
doesn't.
So it's even roughly about the same price to get started with your hardware.
Yep.
So,
and you're watching us on Starlink
Right
now.
Yeah. And Starlink really did help Western North Carolina.
It did.
Yeah.
Yep.
You may or may not agree with his social agenda or his politics, but I tell you what, Elon Musk cares about America.
Uh-huh.
So, Elon, you're an honorary Squatch American man.
Yeah. That's cool.
Anyway, hey, he believes in cyborg people. And
Yeah, that's a
he'd
little
fit
weird.
right in.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, tonight is a more personal and reflective show tonight, but we wanted to bring you into our immediate past and current experience, just so you know what we've been dealing with.
Yeah, you notice we were off for
a
month.
month, and then we were back, and then we were gone.
Then we're gone, and then, yeah, it was kind of crazy. Most of you guys know, in August.
It was August
3rd. My daughter passed away, and she was 36, and she left behind 2 kids, a teenage boy 15 and a daughter 9, and of course her husband. And that was kind of devastating to us and sudden and scary. And if you want to know put in the chat if you would like to know my tinfoil hat theory of why she passed away, I'll let you know, because in case you don't know you guys, if you follow me on Facebook, you know my politics and my background. I was a medic, a combat medic. I was first in the infantry in the Army, and then I was also a combat medic in Iraq. And I did a lot of medical training, as in, like, I'm equivalent to a what do they call it in civilian? PA, which doesn't count in the real world, only in the military world. It's kind of,
and that's something important to talk about.
Yeah.
Because your personal history, I'm going to put it on my podcast interview.
Yeah.
I mean, your personal history is marked so much by, in the military, you were responsible for $1 million budgets and
equipment,
equipment and campaigns that even government officials didn't know about, and you got back into the civilian world and couldn't get a job at Weimar.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway.
So I noticed Renee says I do. We haven't talked to Renee personally about this. I feel bad.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So in case...
The ladies always keep in touch.
Okay.
Are you going to tell the full story?
I'm going to tell some of it. What she passed away with was pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot in the lungs. A blood clot that she wouldn't have had if she hadn't got a job that forced her to get a certain
poke.
Just a month before she died. And so that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. And my educated theory, let's put it that way. And I'm kind of pissed off at the government for that. So there's that.
Is that the part of the story you're going to tell?
That's the part of the story I'm going to tell.
Okay. There is the rest of the story, but we'll wait for Paul Harvey to come back to relive himself, and then he can
tell you the rest of the story.
Yeah.
So that hurt really bad, and
it really hurt our entire family, and
yeah,
the family will, it takes time to. It takes time to put things back together. Hi, Janice.
Yep. Hi, Janice.
Yep. It was a month.
It was a month after the poke.
Because we saw her right after she took that job.
Yep.
And then a month later, she was gone.
Yep. And what was weird, just kind of weird, like, I don't know if this kind of a universe thing, I don't know. We had actually, she lived in Pendleton, Oregon. And I had stopped by, we were traveling through town. We stopped by, we stopped at a campsite there. And in fact, the campground was, I'm not going to say where she worked, but the campground was where it
was close to where
she worked. But
she got off graveyard shift.
Yeah, she got off graveyard.
Just came right over.
Yeah, she banging on my door at like 7 o'clock in the morning, right after she got off work. Her work was like, a couple blocks away, and I wasn't even awake yet. So I'm like screaming out the window, "Hey, let me put clothes on," So, and we got to sit and talk, and this is probably, that was right after she got the job. And
early
July. And what was weird, we sit and talked for a while, and the weirdest thing came up. She was talking about how she wanted to be buried, and when she died, what's interesting is I'm 6'3". I'm a pretty big guy. Even though I'm mostly French, I do have a lot of Norwegian in me, and so she's had some.
She called herself a Viking.
She called herself a Viking. She really,
she kind of embodied it.
Embodied her Viking heritage.
She she kind of was a Valkyrie.
Yeah, she kind of was.
Mean as spit.
Yeah,
but awesome.
Yeah, she was.
You didn't mess with her.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I said she's a sassy, tough little gal.
So she wanted to have a Viking burial, and I don't know why we talked about that just a month before she died, but we did. And so one thing that we've done, she's been cremated. We haven't had her funeral yet. So one of the things we're doing is I actually ordered a urn from Norway, handcrafted from a Viking. with Viking runes on it. And my son and I have some property that we're going to actually burn a Viking ship. Not a big one, you know.
We're
gonna do a pyre, and it's illegal to do that, but we found our ways around it. We can if she's already cremated, we can recremate her. We're just gonna take a little bit of her ashes and burn it in the pyre with the Viking coins, which I got some antique Viking coins also, and we're gonna give her a Viking funeral.
So one of the things that has helped us, and perhaps it's is that first of all, we know that she is still with us, even though we don't see her, and the one person that would not tolerate people standing around and moaning and groaning and boo-hooing and weeping and wailing and throwing a big fit would be her. So, because that wasn't her. So, anyway. But it did really throw our summer, it threw our squatching business for a loop.
Yeah.
And, so I think that leads us into the next thing, correct?
It does lead us into the next thing.
Which is actually more painful than that.
Yeah, believe it or not.
So
that's
why we were gone so much of the summer, because we had just come back and then that happened, and then we just did not have bandwidth to be on for a while. So
right. So let's do another quick little break, and then we'll come back with the other stuff
that has been going on.
At Squatch America, we're not just searching for Bigfoot. We are giving back to those who serve. Every donation through YouTube and Patreon helps us to support the Fallen Outdoors, a veterans-led organization who takes heroes out hunting, fishing, and camping. But that's not all. We take veterans on real Bigfoot research expeditions, where they can enjoy the great outdoors and maybe, just maybe, discover something legendary. Join us in giving back. Support Squatch America today for the adventure, for the veterans, and for the wild.
Links.
Okay. Yeah. So
I was just adding to his to-do list.
Yeah, she was. So, as you know, we're part of the Fallen Outdoors. In fact, I got the t-shirt on right now. Look, the Fallen Outdoors. I'm going the wrong direction. Anyway, that's one thing we do to give back. We thank you, Charles, very much. We take your super chats and any donations you have for us. If you go to Patreon, if you sign up on Patreon, or if you sign up on YouTube, and any super chats we get, all that money 100% goes to us supporting
the Fallen
Outdoors.
Absolutely.
Because we take veterans out hunting and fishing, and
we don't take them hunting and fishing.
No, the Fallen Outdoors takes them out hunting and fishing. We are the Bigfoot division. We even have our own logo with the Fallen Outdoors. Yes. They have their special logo just for us. Nikki's on. Oh, hi, Nikki. So we thank you very much. We love you too. Hey,
Nikki. there's a sticker for that. You need to do the sticker. Did you do the sticker?
Yeah.
Did you do the?
Oh, I didn't. So thank you, Charles.
Not that.
Oh, I know what she's talking about. I'm all lost in the world.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you for the super.
Yeah.
That was. So, anyway, where was I? Oh, So
after we had done everything that that we could do following her passing.
Yeah.
We said
After we did all that.
we just had to get on with things.
And one of the things, we did have a veterans trip planned in the Blue Mountains right
during that time.
And we had to cancel it, which is kind of sad. But we're planning one here in Texas, by the way. If you're folks in the Sam Houston National Forest,
we found some public land where we can do it, so we're going to be checking that out in the next. Fortunately, we're going to be in Texas, Nikki, for 6 months.
Yeah.
Through the month of March and into April, we're going to be in. We're going to have to change our residency.
Yeah, we are. So
we may have found some land that we're really interested in up in Midale, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
We love this area. Anyway, but so after that, then we decided we just had to, we couldn't just sit there and wallow.
Right.
So
what happened was, if you guys remember, we have, over the last year, we were running ads on our channel. If you go back to some of the older lives, you'll see the ads about the Bigfoot Encounter Museum in Cloudcroft, New Mexico, who were supporting us. And we had met them. We had helped them actually set up their museum. We had donated a lot of footprint casts to them for their museum.
A lot of time.
We spent a couple weeks there. We were the kind of the Bigfoot experts and residents when they opened for the first week. We were there talking to people about Bigfoot, taking them through the museum. I was doing like museum tours and answering questions. And we did all that. And after we'd been gone for, we left there.
We hadn't been gone for a week after we left.
Yeah, and they were begging us to come back and stuff. But we were gone for, we left there. We left them for about a year because we went on tour. We did our Bigfoot. We did like 14 Bigfoot festivals over that summer, all over the United States, and we were crazy.
And then we had said why did they want us to come back? Let's just be honest.
Okay. So the lady who built it said, but she was in her 70s? No,
she's
60s. Anyway, she said the place had just blown up. I mean, she said they had people in there all day long. She couldn't do it anymore. She was begging us to come back and take over the museum and run it for her. And she would call us every other day. In fact, the whole time we were going through the thing with my daughter passing away, she kept calling us and saying, "Hey, I understand you're going through bad times, but I really need you up here right now." So after we got...
and she had been calling us all year, "When are you coming?" And we said, we are on tour. Here's when we can come. And we had actually arranged to be there. We had originally arranged to be there at the beginning of October. And then she says, "I need you so badly." So then we canceled all of our September. This is before Kirsten passed away. We canceled our September plans because we were supposed to go to the Olympic Strange Days.
Yes, we were.
And so we bailed on that, and we were going to be there by the second or the third week of October. And even with Kirsten's passing, we only delayed it by a week.
Yeah.
And so there were lots of things that were said. They were going to pay for all of our expenses. They were going to pay for our camping. They were going to pay us to manage the place, and then work out a way for us to buy it from them directly so that we wouldn't have to pay interest on a loan. And these are very, very wealthy people who know the business world. So, yeah. And so that's why we went there. We went there to buy a Bigfoot museum.
We did. So we got there, and the first weekend was
miserable.
Well, it was a holiday weekend.
Labor Day.
It was Labor Day weekend. We got there. They had just spent a lot of money for the local football team. For those of you who are unaware, uh, all you northerners and all my northerner friends, if you're down here in the south,
It's all football all the time.
yeah, yeah. I've seen high school football stadiums that would rival like OSU Stadium. So just be fair. Um, oh, Lisa,
Yeah, when we go to Wisconsin, she'll help with a Fallen Outdoors excursion.
we'll do that. Hey,
Find a spot.
yeah, Lee, email us.
Yeah.
So we can start a chat about that. Okay. Anyway, so where was I? They had just bought a big blow up entrance smoke thing for the football players to run on this, break through the paper and run on this field with. And that weekend they had set up a burger barbecue thing out in front of the museum so they could support the football team. And they had us show up and set our truck up out front and do
they had to set our booth up.
Yeah, had to set up our booth, and we were talking with people, which was actually good.
Yeah,
because
we had a great time.
We had a
That's
great
where
time.
we met Paul and Robbie.
Yeah, we met Paul and Robbie there. We also met oh my gosh, Cody is his name? Oh my gosh,
Jody.
Jody
and Jody
and his wife Jody. Yeah. And that's what kind of got us into the Mescalero Apache Reservation, which is awesome.
And overall, our time in New Mexico turned out to be a great time, with a lot of inroads and doors opened for us. But back to the Bigfoot Encounter Museum.
Yeah. So the day after that, she had on Monday had closed the museum because she said she was tired and she needed a day off, and they had done a lot of stuff. And I understand you need to take a day off once in a while. And we went out to dinner with them, and
a couple times that
weekend, and we had talked stuff over. And then they just decided, they said, hey, we want to sell the museum. Do you have $2.5 million and we'll sell it to you? I'm like, I am fresh out of $2.5 million. Because we literally, to be honest with you guys, spent every dime we had to rush ourselves down here to New Mexico. And plus we just went through all the expense with my daughter's funeral and all that stuff. So we were basically almost broke when we got there. And I'm not asking for you guys for money, by the way. We're fine. We're rebuilding. We make enough money to survive. We're fine. But
remember that next time you look at the bank account.
Yeah. But they said they wanted the money for the museum. And I said, well, can't we work out? We came up with several ideas. We found another guy who would buy the place and we'd run it. But they didn't want to do that. They wanted to sell it to us. And then when I told them we didn't have $2.5 million, that was literally the last time they spoke to us. The next week, the store never opened again. And the week after that, we'd already paid ourselves for camping there for a month.
Even though they said they would pay for our camping.
Yeah.
They did not.
So
and the only reason that we got our footprint casts back is because we specifically said we want our casts back.
Yeah. When they closed, they said they weren't going to reopen the museum ever again, and they were going to sell it and gut it and sell everything off. I'm like, that makes no sense to me. That was absolutely stupid.
I mean,
in my
and
point of view.
and here's, okay, I'm going to go weird on you. All year long that she'd been calling us and saying, you could get so much money to sell hunts up here. And of course we would let you keep all that money. And somehow that didn't trigger my thought. But when we did get here, they said, well, don't you have rich friends, don't you? And they kept asking us about rich friends.
And
And
yeah, and I know a lot of people, and believe me, none of them have $2.5 million, including Cliff Barrickman, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah, so
it's just like, yeah, it was quite the flip flop from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then when all this happened, I had some time to think about it, and it was like, they didn't see us as people. You know, she would call and say, when are you guys coming home? We love you. We miss you. And we let ourselves be bamboozled by that. And in the end, they just saw us as merchandise to include with their store.
Yeah.
To be sold.
Yeah.
Because then they said, well, you know, they tried to get one of their friends to buy it, and if you just let Scott and Hannah run it, then they'll make you lots of money. And it's like, we weren't people to them at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we literally broke ourselves to get down there, because we really were fond of these people, and we loved what they were doing, and we loved the Bigfoot community in that area.
Yeah. And actually the museum they had
was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal because I helped set it up.
It's true.
No, but you know, it was really cool and really sad. So we left there broke, and they have closed the museum. They're selling off
everything
they
out
of it.
They have not been in touch with us once. No apologies. Jeez, no. Can we reimburse you for your expenses? We literally were out like $6,000 because of that, and to them that's not anything. But so Renee, you know, they had some issues with, there were some, you know.
Well, wait a minute. Was there some illness in their family, she said?
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. We found out later that every time this lady had bought a store in another little town in the area and had built it and had run it for about a year, and then she suddenly was ill and they sold it, and then something happened and they sued the people they sold it to, which I found out later they actually lost the lawsuit. But and then they opened this museum a year later. After that, she ran it for about a year, and then she said she wasn't feeling good and she had to sell it.
Yeah, so there was a pattern there.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we saw actually the cash receipts. You know, a business generally doesn't pay for itself for like the first 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, it takes that long for it to pay itself off. And it really was on track for doing that. So it was not, you know, they weren't going under with it, to my knowledge.
Mm-mm.
It was not run well. They had way too much inventory and the wrong kind of inventory. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that animatronic Bigfoot was amazing.
Yeah.
But in the end, like I said, when we got to New Mexico, Cocopelli had something, and boy did Cocopelli.
Yeah.
He's the trickster, Mexican trickster.
Yeah.
And but yeah, the illness of having too much money.
Yeah.
I don't think you can have too much money. You just don't have the personal development to go with it.
Yeah.
But with that said, you know, maybe we weren't ready for that kind of money. Oh, thanks. Charles just became a new member. You've got a sticker for that too.
Oh my gosh. Yes,
go to the new member stinger right there.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Charles.
Anyway, so there was we were deaf, and while we were there, the other thing that happened is that everything that could have possibly happened to the truck happened.
Yeah, that's another thing too. So we were stuck there
a month
because we'd already paid for the camping for a month, and plus I wouldn't say stuck, because we did get to meet Paul, and we got to meet Jody, and we got to go squatching with Nikki. for one night, and I got to meet some wonderful people from the Mescalero Apache Reservation, and we got to go out squatching with some of those folks.
And we cannot wait to go back to the res.
Yeah, I will go back to that res any day now. They've already said they will welcome us anytime we want to show up on
Even
the res.
to their evening ceremonies.
Yeah,
that's a huge thing.
that's a thing. So which is right up my alley, by the way. So any new people in here that may not know, I don't know why nobody knows this, but I spent, after the military, I spent a career as an anthropologist, a Native American culture anthropologist, working with tribes, and I love working with the First Nations people, and I've done it for a long time.
So anyway, but the truck.
Yeah. Okay. So I love my truck.
It's a 2002 F350 7.3 liter diesel dually.
Yeah.
Super duty.
It
is a monster boy.
So yeah, and in fact, just Kyle calls it the Squatch tank.
Yes.
so, but it's kind of fun. I love my truck. We bought it. I bought it on purpose because, one, I love that truck. I've always wanted that truck with the 7.3 diesel, which is a 1,000,000-mile motor, by the way, in case you guys didn't know that. It's one of the few motors they accidentally built to last. Yeah, it's made by International, not Ford. So the motor in it is,
and it does have a badass slide bed. Yes, it does.
Yes, and it has a slide in the bed that slides out that holds 1,500 pounds. You can just slide everything out of the bed on a tray and pick up what you want. It's pretty cool. Thanks, Scott Goebel helped me procure that one from, because I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, kind of thing. So that worked out great. Anyway, so I love my truck, but it's got almost 200,000 miles on it. So it's starting to, the little things are starting to catch up with it.
But all at the same time.
So luckily, I'm a fairly decent mechanic, and my son is a phenomenal mechanic. He went to school for it. He's a diesel mechanic.
He's an award-winning diesel mechanic.
He's an award-winning diesel mechanic. In fact,
like
they send him around. Yeah,
national award-winning.
They send him.
I think he got an award from the Federal Transportation.
Yeah, he did.
Whatever the national Department of Transportation gave him an award for being the best fleet mechanic. Whatever,
nationally.
Yeah.
So I'm not just kidding. I mean, this kid is brilliant. So, well, kid, he's
40,
but anyway, so
yeah, my hair's almost as white as yours.
Yeah. So he was the fleet manager for a major grocery chain, Winco Foods. He was in charge of
get back
their trucks.
Get back to the truck.
But anyway, so he so whenever I have diesel problems or mechanic problems in general, I usually take my truck to him or FaceTime on the phone, and he talks me through stuff. So working on the truck's not a problem. So, but while we're in New Mexico, I replaced an alternator, not a big deal.
An air conditioning compressor.
The air conditioning compressor.
The serpentine belt. One battery.
And a battery.
And right before that, we had finished all the brakes.
Yeah, we put new brakes on it. And then when we were at my son's last, he fixed a steering problem I was having.
U-joints.
And we put new U-joints on it. So it's getting up to snuff now. so
and actually being grounded, basically we call it being grounded for a month, where even if we wanted to go, we kind of couldn't, because it gave us space to do all that repair work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all the dollar signs.
Yeah.
And the wheels almost did fall off.
Yes.
And so we were able to thoughtfully get all that truck work done. Yeah, we will have a whole new truck soon. And we got other stuff going on now, but not as big, but it also gave us the time to reflect and to reassess and figure out what is the purpose of Squatch America and what do we do next. Now that this whole store thing has crashed down around and Raptor, that was called a menopausal brain fart. Raptor said it looks like God was protecting, like he saved us. Yes. And David said those people will get what they have coming to them. Absolutely. It's my favorite phrase. Karma's only a bitch when you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, you know, we know that we gave the best of ourselves to them.
Yeah.
And that always comes back to grace us.
Yeah.
That's
always, I've always had this thing growing up. I've always been the guy who always leave things better than you found him.
Yeah.
Kind of guy.
And even
if it hurts. Yeah.
Yeah. And take the high road every time. Just take the high road. And that has been a theme throughout our lives. Just take the high road. So it really, and we sat down and said, well, let's talk about this. You know, we were disappointed. I was looking forward to being somewhere and being put for at least a while.
Mm-hmm.
Because traveling does get tiring. By the way, Pyromedic, if you want to sell your house and travel squatching for 5 years, frickin' do it.
Yeah, we did.
If you read my email, are you on our email list? I write really good emails.
So Renee said Scott would always help anyone out, even in school.
It's true.
So a little known fact, Renee and I have a history.
Isn't it weird when the women you have history with become your wife's bestie?
I know, it's kind of weird. No, actually, Renee was my girlfriend in junior high.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with it.
Anyway, in my email, I say, you know, just take if you want to do something, and that's something that our lives demonstrate. If you have a dream, just take a step. And when you take a step, the universe will meet you. Yeah. And give you a nudge in that other direction. Because I tell you what, when we sold everything. Let's just jump back to 2019. We were putting our marriage back together. It was yet another episode that he loved me through. Weird how you say that. It is. Yeah. Did you know he was once in junior high school?
Yes, I was in junior high school once.
But in 2019, we were recovering. And he had loved me through a lot. I call it the midlife crisis from hell, and you have no idea. And that's something we'll go into on this show. Uh-huh. But in 2019, we were putting ourselves back together, yeah. And we had taken a camping trip, and we just decided, let's just put the house, it was right before the camping trip. It was like at the end of July, and we had decided, let's just put the house on the market and see what happens. And we were anticipating that it would take several years to sell because the market wasn't moving in Baker City at the time. And so then we put the house on the market and walked away and went camping with our grandson.
Yep.
And as we were traipsing through the Bitterroot Mountains
in Montana,
yeah, I got a phone call. This is 3 weeks later. Got a phone call from our realtor. Said, your house just sold.
What? Yeah.
And so that was in 2019. Like October. Well, we left the house. We vacated between August and October of 2019. We had yard sales. We got things into storage. We cleaned the house. We bought our camper with the proceeds from the house. And then we got out and we moved into the local RV park. And we figured we would live there until he reached 62, which is like in 2 months from now. Mm-hmm. So he's not 62 yet, but we figured at 62 he would retire, and that would give us like 5 years to prepare for our bigfooting full-time RVing thing. And so we moved into the local RV park and figured we had all this time to just figure things out and get rid of the stuff in the storage unit. And then
the C19.
And
because you can't say that.
Well, it's not so bad anymore. Yeah. But then we were both teaching, and that was the we're going to send you on spring break, and the kids never went back to school, and so we just said, let's just do it now.
Mhm.
And we've been going ever since. And
at that time we were Squatch, Oregon, because we didn't plan
Blue
on
Mountain
leaving.
Bigfoot, yeah,
Blue Mountain Bigfoot research.
We were planning on going back to Oregon because we thought we'd have jobs in the fall. And anyway, so long story short, we never actually it took us years to get back to Oregon because of different issues involved with closing of the borders. If you didn't have anyway, we became South Dakota residents and kept traveling, and we rebranded. And here's the thing, Pyro, I built my own business while he was doing Squatch America stuff, and then I got remote contract work, and so you can do it. You can do anything you want. You can make things work.
Mm-hmm.
And if those things don't work at some point in time, something else will come along that does.
Mm-hmm.
But he is retiring in December, and he's going to start pulling his old people pay.
I get my old people pay here shortly. And here's another thing that we're going through also.
Yes.
By the way,
finally. This was another result of New Mexico.
It was another result in New Mexico. What happened is I have applied for VA benefits several times, and they always deny you automatically, and which is stupid. And even the latest thing what was that? The
burn pit
registry thing. I was guarding oil well fires in Kuwait for almost 3 months, breathing oil well smoke, and we were supposed to get
human excrement.
Yeah, and we were supposed to get stuff. Yeah, the pack back. And I applied for that and was denied. So that's something else we're going through right now. We actually have.
We made a connection in
New Mexico. We now have a law firm out of Florida on our side who is actually going to go to war with the Veterans Administration for me. So
anyway,
so that's another thing we've been dealing with, lawyers and the VA. So hopefully that gets worked out. When that gets worked out, so we got some extra income coming in shortly. So we're going to be.
Yeah, Lee is laughing at you. What? Denied?
Yeah. So what we're planning on doing with that lovely stuff, we got just a few minutes left. So
we can go late.
We can go a little bit late. The next thing on our list is what's coming up? What's happening? Where are we going?
Well, why don't you play your little Footprint Friday video?
What Footprint Friday video?
You announced what you were going to be doing. Do you not have it loaded?
No.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Okay, so he released a video not too long ago saying what the new Footprint Friday
Footprint Friday plan is, and here's the new plan. I announced what we decided to do since we don't own a Bigfoot museum now. we are having
probably won't ever,
but
because honestly, Squatch America isn't about having a store. It's about squatching.
You guys, actually, it's about you guys, and it's about squatching, and that's what we're going to pour ourselves into, which is really great. We're going to pour ourselves into taking veterans out squatching, squatching with you guys like we always have been doing, and getting back out there and doing the research.
And we are even sacrificing festivals to do that, and it's killing him.
Yes, we're turning down speaking engagements at Bigfoot festivals.
The only one we have booked for next year is the one in Wisconsin.
We're going to Wisconsin to one so far
in May. It's true. It's true. I can't take him anywhere, Renee.
Yeah. So what we're planning on doing is
I'm dying of heat.
I
Here.
know she's dying. It's
8,000 degrees.
84 degrees, but the humidity's tough here in Texas.
84%.
Here in Texas. No, the humidity is 48%. Anyway,
48, 84, whatever.
she reads stuff backwards to make it sound more dramatic. No, just kidding. Anyway, so
So
what,
new Footprint Friday schedule. Tell them about
so
that.
the new Footprint Friday schedule. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we got behind on content, and we just explained why. So what I want to dive back into my YouTube channel and get the information out to you guys that we find. So what I'm doing right now is we're doing our regular Footprint Friday shows where we go out Bigfooting and do the research on.
Don't read the comments
Okay.
because you look like a guppy with your mouth wide open.
Okay. No, that's it.
I know we said that.
Okay.
Just
All right.
keep talking.
So what we're doing, we're going to last Friday we did a video where we went and followed up on an old Bigfoot report in the area in Texas, which is kind of interesting, telling old stories. And I know there's lots of YouTube channels that do that, but we're not going to do it all the time, and just occasionally we're going to do that. I'm also delving into something we started to do on our live shows for a while, on our website and in person and at the festivals we go to. We've been asked the same questions 1,000 times from different people. You know, is there more than one Bigfoot? Is, you know, all the standard Bigfoot questions that we get all the time. And I know some of you guys probably even have the same questions. So what we're doing now is we're starting a new thing called Bigfoot Mythbusters. So I'm actually working on, I actually shot the first episodes done. That's going to be coming up this Friday. Plus I'm upping my video game a lot.
Your video game.
Video gaming. Yeah, I've been video game. No, well, actually I have been, but oh, here, little known fact. This is how I hang out with my kids. My son, we both play World of Warcraft together online. He lives in Boise, Idaho. We live wherever we happen to be, you know, and that's how I keep up with my son. We get on the headsets, we play video games together. So it's just a kind of a thing we've been doing for a long time, actually.
So what's my excuse?
I don't know. She don't have one. She Sims alone. So
It's my digital doll.
that's how I spend time with my son, is we actually just play video games online together instead of long phone calls.
Anyway, so Footprint Friday. So the idea behind that is every other week will be one of our research videos, and then interspersed will be the Bigfoot
Mythbusters series, and the first one's going to drop this Friday.
Yep. So, and then what are we doing with the Terrific Tuesdays? Now, this pay close attention if you're members or if you're not members. Meaning, if you're a member of our YouTube community or a member of Patreon, we will be restructuring those sometime in the future, but it's not a super high priority.
Right. So what we're doing with those is every Tuesday we're going to be doing kind of a behind the scenes what we're doing. But that's only going to be for the people who are on Patreon and for our Patreons and our YouTube members. So
those are going to be private. If you want to get the private deets of our lives behind the scenes, you're going to have to pony up $1.99 a month for YouTube membership.
Yeah.
Or $5 on Patreon.
Or $5 on Patreon. So what we're doing there is we're doing the behind the scenes stuff, like when we go out and, or you do the buy a coffee.
Buy me a coffee. We don't have an actual membership on there. That's just that's our if you want to make a donation.
That's the donation thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but we will. So I think probably in 2025 we're going to look at redoing the whole membership thing and just give one place to be a member rather than having them here and there and there and here and all the things. So we're figuring that out with our web guy.
So okay. So that's what's coming up. And of course, we'll still do our lives every Wednesday like this.
So, closing thoughts and community connections. We are using Chat GPT to structure this whole evening. Thank you, Chat GPT, for listening to our every conversation.
Yeah. So we want to thank you guys for hanging out with us over the last few months.
Years.
Yeah, since we've been going through what we just talked about. So
yeah, it's been a rough few months. We learned a lot of lessons.
Mhm.
And here are the lessons that we learned. One, never share your plans with anyone. We both get so excited about possibilities that sometimes we count our chickens before they're hatched.
Yeah.
And so we learn not to share our plans with anyone. And sadly, we've learned not to trust people quite so easily.
Mhm.
And if it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. But with that said, you can't look a gift horse in the mouth. So, and even though the Bigfoot Museum didn't come our way, we've got an amazing relationship established with the Mescalero Apache tribe. And those people do not suck. They are, I tell you, I cannot speak too highly of those tribal members. They are awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome people. If anyone from the Mescalero Apache tribe is listening, we adore you.
Yeah.
We literally adore you. And the people that we met in New Mexico and the things that our experiences there. So with all of the hardship and the grief, there was also, Cocobelly says, this is not for you, but this is.
Mhm.
This door closed, this door open. And yes, trust is earned and not given.
So so on top of that, I want to go back to something else. We've asked this before. I know a lot of you guys are on my list. And what I mean by my list is we have some peoples who I consider Squatch American brothers and sisters, a part of this crazy thing we're doing. And what we do is we go out squatching with you guys. You know who you are: Janice, Renee, Scott, Paul,
Lee, when we get there.
Lee, when we meet you. And
Pyro, I'm telling you, I fell in love with Medill, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Literally, there's a 2-acre lot there that I'm eyeballing. Like
yeah. Yeah. So, and Dale and Denise and Donna from Vermont. And there's a whole lot of people that I consider part of our group that I'm not afraid to call on you guys when we get a Bigfoot report in the area. So I'm going to shoot you an email and say, hey, I can't get there to check this out. Go check it out. Terry in Southern Oregon. So
we have people in Washington now.
Yeah.
Ruben Estevio up in Ocean Shores.
Yeah. So we got a lot of people. I'm making a list. And if you guys want to be on it, anybody who wants to be like an investigator for us, just to follow up on stuff, or if we get something in your area. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, and we do get a lot of Bigfoot reports, but a lot of them are old. But when we get fresh things, like we got one a few months ago that we actually had an investigator on scene. Thank you, Nikki, for helping me with that. In an hour after it happened.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, Lee is advising you with the Bigfoot Mythbusters, don't try to blow anything up.
Oh,
that's not me telling you. That's someone on the outside. So you can't.
But I enjoy blowing things up.
He does.
Yes. I also enjoy shooting things a lot. But not Bigfoot. I'm never going to hunt Bigfoot ever. That's not a thing. But
he does like having fun with his pew-pews.
Yes. Scott knows. Scott Goebel. He and I go out shooting a lot whenever we're together. So thank you, Scott, for doing that with me all the time.
And it looks like we might be back in Oregon. Maybe next September.
Maybe.
Maybe.
but we may not be doing a bunch of the
We will not be doing the sportsman shows this year.
yeah, and
We formally have ceased and desisted with it. Like I said, we are being very, very picky about what kind of festivals and where they are, because we want to get back out into the field.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't earn us money.
right. So, speaking at the Bigfoot festivals are
Decent.
decent. I wouldn't say lucrative, but they pay for themselves. We'll put it that way. So,
Yeah.
Scott Goebel says, let's do Sumter in September. Renee, you down? Sumter in September. We'll get the whole Oregon crew together.
Well, and I want to go.
Oh, that's another one too. Oh my gosh, her name just went out of my head.
Dorothy
Jewell. So maybe we could do that.
We could all go to Strange Days together.
I
I wanted to go to Strange Days so bad. Strange Days, you and me, Renee. The next Olympic Strange Days.
Yeah.
And Dorothy.
Yeah.
The girls will go.
There you go.
So anyway.
So I just want to let you guys know, you guys and our viewers and you guys here in the chat and all our friends, you mean a lot to us. And without you guys, I don't think we have got through the last few months that we have. Just that's one of the things that's kept me going is knowing owe you guys. I feel like I owe you guys a lot for what we're doing here and what we've started, and I don't want it to end. I don't want to be the guy that just closes the store and walks away.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's why we're keeping on. We're a Bigfoot family. I like that one.
Bigfoot family.
Yeah. And I like all you guys. You're invited over for Thanksgiving in my camper.
We're going to Golden Corral.
We're going to go to Golden Corral for Thanksgiving.
Now that we don't have kids coming home for Thanksgiving. I called us the other day. I said, we are the happy occasional grandparents.
Occasional grandparents, yeah.
And, yeah, if you're near Golden Corral where we're going, yeah, please join us.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but you guys really have been supportive. And something that you could really do to help us is, please, if you ever have ideas. Thank you, Danny. Bing, 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 bing. Do the bing, bing. Oh, he said no tracks, no sightings. Trying to figure out the new lay at the after the post-apocalypse. Right?
I understand. That's
yeah.
the same thing in Oregon. The 135 fires or whatever it was.
Yeah. So, but if you ever have ideas, if you want to give us feedback, any ideas for filming ideas or live show ideas, if you have a list of people that you would love us to interview, I mean,
all that stuff.
Look at our hair. We don't always have. We got more gray hair than we have gray cells in here.
Yeah.
And and so please pop up our email. Come on. There it is. SquatchAmerica@gmail.com. We respond to all of our emails.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have not, copy and paste. If you have not
okay, yeah.
If you have not subscribed to our newsletter, is it still there? Yeah, it is. If you have not subscribed to our newsletter, go to squatchamerica.com/subscribe-here. Sign up for our newsletter. We have
thank you, David.
Bing, bing. Anyway, I have completely redone the newsletter, and I think it looks absolutely awesome. We are calling it the Squatch. There it is. The Squatch America Tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And really want to be more personable in our weekly newsletters, and maybe more often, and tell more stories and share more of ourselves with you. So we were close to Brown Springs. Okay, so that's why you need to email us.
Yeah, because
We are going back to
actually, if you're talking about us being in Gordonville, Lake Soma, we're going to be back there for 3 weeks later on.
Later into 2020, like February or March.
February, maybe late January, early February, sometime in there. So email us and we will go check it out.
Yeah, we've got some other places there that people saw us on the road and emailed us.
Yeah,
and gave us some good spots. But
yeah,
it happened like toward the end of our stay. It's like we don't have time now. Yep. But anyway, so it's always fun talking about hoaxers.
Yeah, I know. We're not going to get into that. That's Nikki's job.
Yeah, if you want to hear about hoaxers, go on over to Sasquatch Secrets.
Yeah,
because
go to Nikki's channel if you want to talk. That's Sasquatch Secrets right here on the screen. So,
I mean, we like to talk about hoaxers, but I tell you what, I think we don't automatically go to the hoaxer thing. We don't assume it's a hoaxer.
Right.
We may assume it's natural, but we will not automatically assume it's a hoaxer.
Right.
We will assume it's completely natural, and then when we can't figure it out, then I will jump to greater than natural things, and he will just dig his heels in and say, nope. So my theory on hoaxers is that most humans are too lazy and stupid to pull off a good one. So Steve Coles.
I don't know who it's Steve Coles.
So email us that name again, Danny.
What
and
name?
Steve Coles.
No.
What's that?
That's another channel.
Oh, okay. That's another channel. Okay.
We got it.
So if there's someone you want us to interview, if you have show ideas, anything, please let us know.
Yep. For our live shows.
For our live shows, yes.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're going to be saddled with this kind of dribble.
This is a once in a lifetime thing. So you were here.
This is as close to our whine about our lives
as you're going to get.
You're going to get.
So awesome. So anything else for the good of the order?
Just remember our job.
Oh, well, you're
Am I rushing you, darling?
Getting ahead of me here.
You're going.
So we want to thank you guys for being with us tonight, for putting up with us.
Subscribe and share this video. We actually, some of our recent shorts have gotten over 500 views, which is good. Our more personal shorts don't get that kind of views, so more Bigfoot encounter shorts.
Yeah.
But just remember, our job at Squatch America is to investigate the unexplained,
not to explain the uninvestigated.
So until next week, you keep watching.
We'll keep squatching.
And y'all go out
and find Bigfoot.
That damn Sasquatch.
Squatch America, the all-American national